You remove a joker from a pack of playing cards, and you're going to have the participant go through a deck and pick out a card that best represents them. You are then going to have them write a word on this card. Again, something that they think matches their personality. For me, personally, there's nothing that I think more of than come. Preferably, you don't use a marker from the dollar store that smears almost immediately. That card is then shuffled and lost in the middle of the deck. You then show them the joker and have them imagine their card right there on the face of the joker. Imagine the card that they imagine themselves to be. Remember, at this point, you have no idea as to what their card is. And based on the way they look at the joker, you know that their card, the card that they themselves see themselves as, is the 5 of clubs. An astonishing effect, but that's not the end of it. You then tell them to imagine the word, the very word that they themselves see themselves as. Repeat the word over and over in their mind, and you go, come. The word is come. As a bonus, the participants are now instructed to look back at the joker that's been on the table the entire time, and it's now turned into the card. Isn't that fun? Isn't that exciting? It isn't even that difficult to do. It's very simple. First thing you have to do is buy my brand new book, The Art of the Squeal. It's available now. You can look at it in the link in the description section below. Find a nice plethora of tricks, moves, and a lot of anecdotes from my life. That are, of course, the PigCake Magic Academy. You could find over 1,400 videos going over card stuff, coin stuff, everything you need to become the best magician you could possibly be. First things first is you're going to remove the joker and place it face down on the table. Now, it's important that you place it face down because this is how you're going to place the joker later. And when they turn it over and discover the card, it's going to be that much more amazing. And there's also continuity. You're then going to have them go through the deck and take out a card that represents themselves. A lot of people might see themselves as a court card. You could tell them some people see themselves as a number card. Just take out a card that you think best represents yourself. In this case, I took out a card that represents the size of my penis. Now you're going to have them write down on the surface of the card a word that best summarizes themselves. Only one word. Now, of course, it goes without saying that you're going to control this card to the top of the deck. You can do this in a number of ways. Again, my favorite way is the Mahatma control, where I just take the card and place it there, supposedly in the middle of the deck. As I push it in, I'm going to pull down with my thumb, which is going to allow a small pinky break. You see, my pinky is separating that card from the rest of the pack. I could then lift up all the cards above the break and shuffle them to the bottom of the deck, looking like I'm mixing the pack. Really, all I'm doing is bringing their card to the top of the deck. I could then squeeze with my fingertips and my thumb to allow that card to stay on the top. You see that? As I continue to shuffle off. So it looks like their card is hopelessly lost. Now, at this point, I'm going to draw attention back to the joker. And here's where I'm going to do a sneaky move. All I'm going to do is to use my side and my thumb to push over that card and turn it over against my body. So right now, their card is reversed on top of the deck, but nobody knows. You could do this to your side as the attention is on the joker, and they're never going to see anything. As a matter of fact, I just did it, and you couldn't see it. And now I'm going to need to peek at this. But if I stare at this, they're going to know that I'm looking at something. So the way that I do it is I'm going to point using my finger at the surface of the joker. I could point at different aspects and tell them to imagine their card on the joker itself. So imagine this card turning into their card. And of course, as I'm doing that, I'm not only reading the word, but I'm also looking at the card. Look at that. Right now, I'm looking at the card and they don't even realize it because of the natural action. At this point, I could pretend to look in their eyes and try to realize something about their card. And eventually, I'm going to tell them that their card is a 5 of clubs. Now here on the offbeat, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this card and place it on top of the deck. Now, I've also managed to procure a small break, again, underneath that card, ready for a double lift. So I'm simply going to take these two cards and just turn them over as one on top of the deck. I'm then going to take this card, which they think is a joker. Really, it's their card. And then I'm going to take it and place it on the table, much like it was before. This is where that continuity comes back. And now at this point, the joker is face down on the table. I've pocketed the deck and I tell them to imagine the word that they see themselves as. Right now, there's no longer anything in play. The joker's on the table and your hands are empty. You then tell them to think of the word that they have in mind. And look at how powerful this is that you could tell them the word they're thinking of. In this case, you go, oh, I'm seeing something a lot. I'm seeing a lot of something. Seeing, semen, come. And that's a second trick that you've gotten for absolutely no work. And now, of course, you get the benefit of a bonus ending when you tell them that when they were imagining their card in the Joker, sometimes it could actually take place in real life. And you're going to have them turn over the Joker on the table that's face down, and they're going to see that it's turned into their card with the special word on it. That's fun, isn't it? Isn't it fun? And for all the work of just a control and a double lift. Believe it or not, this is actually one of my favorite tricks to do just because of the simplicity and how much work you get out of just having them write down a word on a card. This feels weird. I don't like using my regular camera for these videos. Some advice, I guess, at the end of the video is exactly that. Use something that's easy if you're going to record videos. This DSLR is typically what I use for the live streams, the PigCast that I do, typically on Tuesdays or Wednesdays. Really depends on when my mood is to do a live stream. And it just feels weird using this. It looks good. Don't get me wrong. Look at that. Look at the quality you get from this. Even though right now I'm shooting at 1080p, it still looks good because I have a dedicated lens on this. But if I were to use my other camera, I have more versatility. I could look directly at the monitor by looking at the lens of the camera. Whereas this, look at what I have to do. Look at this. Look at that. You could tell that right now I'm looking at the lens, and you could tell that I'm looking at the monitor, which is not a good thing. That's not a good thing. It makes me seem vain.
I see you again, when 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 I see you again.